Hello, hello. This is Kristina, your coach today, your host today. Sorry, and sorry, digital marketing coach, podcast creator, and speaker. And today is a special episode of KSM Podcast, Going Business Online with Kristina. And I'm so honored, and my pleasure is to have my special guest speaker today, Delisa Abraham, and far away from Canada. Delisa, welcome to the new episode of KSM Podcast.
Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it. And to anyone that's listening, thank you for being here and welcome as well.
And yeah, I'm super happy, and as I said, I'm so pleased to have you as my special guest speaker. And for our listeners who will listen to this episode, uh, can you share with us who you are, what you do? Just introduce yourself, and we will continue talking and having such a great and amazing conversation today.
Yes, of course. So I'm a leadership coach at Faith and Sparkles World. I've been doing leadership for many, many years. It started out in the military, where not only did I teach leadership, but I was in charge of teams. And so just because you are in charge of a team or any team, that doesn't necessarily mean that you are a leader. So I had to learn real quick what it meant to be a leader, especially a woman leader in the military. So that was my experience at a young age. And then in the corporate world, working with executives and CEOs as an executive administrator, I had to take my leadership skills and my training that I had outside of the military, because I did additional training with the John C. Maxwell and reading the books and doing the programs, so that I can be able to lead myself. I could have a vision and know where I was going. So I went in the corporate world not thinking I'm going to be leading, but I used the skills to have a vision and to lead myself. And then, of course, I ended up pregnant later on in life in my late 30s, and I had a daughter. And she has children's books. And from that, it was starting the business, Faith and Sparkles World. And I got parents and entrepreneurs who were saying, how are you doing this? How are you balancing? How do you know where you're going? What's the next step? And I was like, okay, I guess this is what I got to do. I have to start up the business. But with the leadership training and coaching, I was doing this, more behind the scenes, one or two people here and there. I didn't take it too seriously. I was just more in that mentorship role for people that knew me and wanted that guidance and support. But now it's in full effect.
That's fantastic, Lisa. As you mentioned that you have experience in as a veteran in military and then in corporate world, so you're so experienced woman
Yes.
and lady, and also you. And what triggered you to start your own business journey? Because the focus of KSM podcast Doing Business Online is to help and support speakers to move their business in online space or international market, and then is here to support each other. So for our listeners who will listen to this episode with you as a guest speaker, it's going to be so valuable and valued to know how to do it. And just share your story. Maybe your story will influence others to try something new in their life and start their own business.
Yeah, wonderful. So, I have the educational background, right? I have a BA in humanities, a postgrad in research. As I said, I do executive leadership coaching. With that, you can have all the things and all the experience, but then still feel like I'm not living in my purpose. Like, this is not what I'm meant to do. And really, the postgrad that I was doing was to help me figure out, what am I supposed to do? And maybe there are those that are listening in, you're thinking to yourself, well, I'm doing the schooling, or I'm going to get this additional training, and I'm going to take this course because it's going to help me. And yes, it may help and support you, but then you got to take a moment to reflect on, what am I supposed to do? Where am I going to be? And about 7 years ago, where I needed to be was with my daughter. So I left the corporate world. I retired After I took maternity leave, I retired and I focused on my daughter and growing her and just being a parent. And from that, the leadership skills and training that I had and I was implementing and that I used, I applied it to my home. In saying that, so we already have our natural gifts and our purpose, right? So I was taking that um, unconsciously, but my subconscious was really pushing it forward there, applying it to my home. And I started noticing a difference in my daughter and in myself as well. And when she was 3, after we went through a traumatic experience, my mom had cancer, she wanted to write a book. She wanted to share how kids can use kindness and compassion, how they can use their heart, how they can use their purpose to be a superhero. Unlikely situation, right? And I share this with your audience and with you because perhaps you are in that situation where you're like, I have all the skills. What am I going to do? Or maybe you've already started your business, or it's been 2 years and you're thinking, I don't know where I'm going. What's going on? You have skills, use it, right? And then all of a sudden things will start coming together. And with that, I was like, yeah, let's take a bet. She wanted to be a real book. We put the book out, and that's where my leadership skills started to come into being. And that's when I was like, this is a business. Let's make it a business. It can grow. And it became a family business. And as I am leading the business and the CEO of the business now, yes, she has the children's books and it's very successful, won many awards and stuff. As a coach, I started coming out because people were magnetized to what was happening. Our audience was growing. They liked what they saw. And then this natural evolution of the skills and training that I already have and my purpose and me saying, this is where I need to be, this is what I need to be doing, started to evolve. And now I'm here talking to all of you.
Yeah, and this is this is pretty good and cool, because I know from my experience when just I was in corporate job in publishing. It was newspaper house, very old company, 100 year, and
Mhm.
it was TV, television, whatever, and newspaper. And then in 2010, when I had such a pressure and my hormone disbalance, I moved to the hospital, and then I started to talk myself and told myself, okay, Kristina, you are going to be your own owner. You're going to be, to work where when you wanted to work, to just you wanted to be your own boss. And freelancing is starting for me, and this is how I started my team for the web and graphic design now 14 years ago, and also working on, for internationally, and then developing my team. So, and met amazing people on social media platforms. And this is a way how I started coaching part in digital marketing. And for me, it was like how I've done challenge and then started my podcast. So this is your authenticity. This is who you are. And when you leave, when you're, for me, my business, my job is my dream, is my goal, is my job, business, everything, And I really like when I get up, I know, hey, Kristina, you're going to have today new episode, especially with you today, and this is way. So, and also, by the way, I'm also co-author of the book Global Women in Business. And this is how I have never been in Australia, but I'm one of co-authors. There are 7 amazing ladies from all around the globe. And when you leave what you want to do, this is fantastic. So this is how I started my podcast. And and here I speak to amazing people, amazing entrepreneurs. And when you wanted to work, to work with who do you want it to work, and have your just to be free, and have your independence. This is so important for me.
I agree 100%. Having a business does bring independence. However, it can also bring a bit of pressure because you're having to navigate everything. And now there's not that steady paycheck that you were getting, how much ever you were getting in a month. Now it's like, okay, how am I going to do this? What's going to happen? So a lot of our own emotional fears start building up. I'm, when I started off, you're seeing everyone, oh, I'm making 10K months, 100K months, a million K months, whatever. So most of them are lying. Some is true. Um, but when you're now starting, you can't even look at any of those things because the money piece, that fear piece, when it comes to it, is like, why am I not moving? What's going on? What's happening? And so, your podcast, Growing Business Online, is so necessary now to help a generation of entrepreneurs, to give them the building blocks so that they can not only start their business, but they can take their business one step at a time, and build it effectively, lay a strong foundation. So thank you for having this.
Yeah, this is when, and that I shared in that this podcast, KSM Going Business Owner, is top 20 by FeedSpot in 2023 and 2024. So I got such a personal email from from owner of that soft platform, who congratulated me on that way because I uploaded this podcast. And I'm super happy with that. So, and I'm super happy with such amazing guest speaker. So, Delisa, can you share with us how did you and you mentioned about your career in and
Yeah.
military and background and company, and mentioned cancer of your mom, and thanks God she's
Yeah.
good enough
Thank
now,
you.
and that's fantastic. And also, when you mention leadership, that you started executive leadership, can you share with us how did you discover that? How did you, when you start managing your life and your daughter, and this is a different way of approach, as as a woman, we have, and I always say, what is the difference between female brain and male brain, but
Yeah.
anyway, we're natural as a
Yeah.
human being to move forward and to raise up kids, or to be pregnant and whatever.
Mhm.
But can you share with us, maybe it's going to be such a good fit for our listeners?
Absolutely. So when I started, and it started with the military, um, I wasn't looking to be in a leadership position. I, in all honesty, thought I was there for a summer. I started off as a reservist, part-time, because I was going to the university to study humanities. And I had a colleague, a coworker, we're in the same section, we're all the same rank. He actually got me two books. The first one was John C. Maxwell. This is how I know a lot about John C. Maxwell books, where he has the 21 irrefutable qualities of leadership, right? Or of a leader. And he got me that book. And then the second book he got me was The Art of War by Sun Tzu. And when I got those books, I read it, but I was very young, so I couldn't digest the information properly. And I didn't even have mentor or coaches that could have helped me, right? But I was just like, I'm in this position. They said you're going to be leading, we're going to be sending you on a course, a leadership course in the next few years. You're in charge of this section. That's what I got. And so because that was already there and I needed financially that money so I could pay my education tuition, this came out of a need. And then of course, like the young men that were working with me, right? They were my teammates. Well, in the military, they allied with me by giving me resources, books to read, so that I could be a better leader. And I didn't even really think about it or appreciated it as much then as I do now, because that essentially started my journey. Fast forward to my mid 30s, now I'm pregnant and I have my daughter. And before I had my daughter, the first question I had to ask was, who are you? Like, not just me, who is this other person? Because my brain for many years was all about a team. And as women, we just don't, yes, we're independent and strong, but we're also, majority of us, will look at the whole. We don't look at this one finite point. We're looking at things holistically, generally. That's just how our brain works. And we want to be of service. We want to serve. We want people to be happy. We want the team to be strong. Because I was from that mindset, that is how I approached my family, essentially, this new family that I was going to have. And with that, I'm also a single parent. It was just myself and her. So I looked at, who are you? And then there's work that I was doing, preparational work in the home, saying, what type of environment do I want for her? Which is the exact same thing that I took from my time leading teams, saying, what environment do I want here? Do I want an environment when people walk in, they're excited to be here, they want to give me 100%, that it's innovative, that they can be creative? Yeah, well, that's what I want in my home too. So I took those principles about the environment. I took the principles of what foundation am I building it on? What are your values? What is your vision? What morals do you have? To apply it in my life. These are the basic leadership skills. Then the second piece was saying, okay, how are we going to work together as a team? Now, this approach is very, very different from what parents normally do, because really it's just, I have a child, we're going to be working, we're here, and I have to lead, which is true. But now I was trying to really figure out, who are you as a person? Because for many, many decades, that is all I had to do. I was looking at what is your strength? What is your strength? How can we work together as a team? And I took that, I applied it now in my home, and then all of a sudden I started seeing results. I start seeing the results. I start seeing the home that I wanted is filled with creativity and innovation and life. And now with the business, because I have this experience, because of all of these things, the team that I have is the same thing, that level of communication.
And so, in the practical side, you have family business with your
Yes.
daughter, which, as you said, that is not unusual, but there are many, there are people who just have and build from level
Yes.
to level of generations,
Yes.
like in ages, to build their own business and companies and factories and whatever. And when you started that, what is the focus? How in that you mentioned your company, uh,
Yes.
is your agency?
Yes.
I'm
It's a company. Yes. Faith and
company.
Sparkles World, the
And can you share
company.
with us the core of your company and about who do you mostly work with? Who are your clients? Who do you
So
mostly serve?
our ideal clients are women entrepreneurs, women who are in a leadership role, a managerial role, right? Positions are or role. And the reason why I focus on women, because I'm a woman and I've been in a leadership role. And I've been in a leadership role where there's a male dominated industry. It really, really is. And so a lot of the training that we are getting is really from men sharing their experience and how they will approach. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it has its time, it has its seasons, and we get our teaching. But there's a very different experience when you're being trained by a woman and when you're getting the resources from a female perspective, because we will be more aligned. And the reason why I did that is because, one, I'm a woman, but also in my research, I looked at women leaders who have been advisors to nations, prime ministers. I did, as I mentioned, I have a postgrad in research, and I was like, what made them successful? Why do they work? How do they lead their family? Because I have a family, similar to most people that are listening. They have a family, and they also have their own teams that they're working with. What do these people do? And from that, I was like, okay, putting that together, applying it, now using it as a resource with my clients. And so ideally, women who are in leadership, who have careers or a business starting out. You will benefit from learning how to effectively lead, how to effectively communicate, because our strong point is communication. And our other strong point is building up community as women. So we're taking these two key points, creating the environment for our people, which is that of creativity and innovation, and of course experience as well. And then this is how we transform a generation. This is how we lead, and many will follow, because there is a hunger and a thirst for that right now in this season.
And congratulations on your decision, because you're so experienced, and you live who you are, just, and you discover who you are, starting that executive leadership coaching.
Yes.
And Delisa, do you how do you work offline? Do you work online? Who do you mostly wanted to attract? You said
Yes.
women, and you said women in leadership. It doesn't matter what industry they are.
No.
Are there
No.
business owners, managers, leaders in their
So
companies,
the reason, yeah,
or employees, employed in some other companies,
yeah,
managers and established
mhm.
business owners, or in their own companies, or work for some companies?
Yes, absolutely. And that's a fantastic question. So as I did mention, it's women, and they're entrepreneurs or executives. I have a one-on-one, I have a 3-month program. It is $4,000, but in those 3 months, I am working with you and your team. We're looking at taking a holistic approach. And so the people that can invest this amount, they're the ones who will benefit the most. And most of the times are the executives, like a VP, a junior VP, or a senior VP that would take this 3-month program. This is my mid-tier program. Or a new business owner who has been in industry for about 3 years or 5 years, and they're saying, I'm doing all the things, I think I have the system, but something is missing. And generally, when we look at something is missing, it's always our bottom line. It's always our finances, that financial ecosystem. So when you're working with me, and with the investment that I mentioned, we're looking at your various ecosystem, which includes your finances. So then now you can start, instead of plugging the holes, you're not leaking things out. And that is the benefit of leadership training. And perhaps you working in retail, maybe you don't have a business or you're not an executive, but you're saying, you know what? I see, I know where I want to be. I know where I'm going in the future, and I'm going to invest in myself. I want to invest in my leadership skills today. This is for you. This is for you, because when you start with where you are, when you have a plan and you are prepared, and my program prepares you, then you can proceed with the vision that has been given to you to be effective and to transform lives.
Oh, this is fantastic. And you work one-to-one and
Yes,
one
I
to
do.
group. Do you have in one-to-group
I
session
have a
as
group.
well?
Yes, I have a community group that I work with. It is $97 a month, but we have Q&A sessions. You get to see me live. We have resources, blogs, that we're working on for the month, and there's a community, that's building on your leadership skills.
And can you share with us what are you mostly where are you mostly present in terms of online platforms? And also, do you run maybe some of your groups on Facebook that people can reach out also, and maybe can get some kind of resources, or just
Yes,
build this kind of community as a free group,
absolutely.
private group,
Yes.
just to join there and connect with you
Well,
and reach out to you for some
yes,
support, questions,
absolutely.
whatever.
Absolutely. So I'm going to be sharing the free gift with you. It's called Crafting Your Leadership Voice. This is a resource that I'm actually going to be using in my upcoming webinar. I've had other people in my Facebook group, my private Facebook group, use this resource as well, because it is really part of the foundational work. And so I will share with you our platforms. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, where we have the Facebook group, LinkedIn. We'll connect with you there. I'll also share with you that free resource as well as our upcoming webinar at the end of April from the 24th to the 26th. It's 3 days, and I'm going through with you the foundational of effective leadership. Day 2 is crafting your leadership voice, which is the resource. And now this is that group one, myself and the group, a small group that we're going to be working together to do this. And then, of course, day 3, it's leading into the future, leading with the vision into the future. So
Is
I will
it
share
like a
all of
free
those.
gift that what you
Oh no,
free
the free
resources?
gift, the
You
free gift is the crafting your leadership
Yes, of course.
voice.
But about this
That one
webinar,
is the free one,
is it still those
the
3 days
workshop.
for paid members, for
No,
people who
that one's
wanted to
paid.
invest?
Yeah.
It's free.
Yeah, it just
So,
there's an investment of
so yeah,
$67.
and I can share all those information,
Mhm.
because this podcast episode is recording, and you mentioned what April? Can you repeat again, please?
April
April.
20, April 24th, 25th, and 26th.
Yeah, so you will send me all information.
Yeah.
I will post on my profile as well, and
Thank
also
you.
in my KSM group, uh, business and
Thank you.
marketing. And this is fantastic. So, do you have some kind of maybe some? Did you write some book or something like that? We can also
Yes.
share here the name of your. I'm just asking you because you're in leadership, and I believe that you have something like this in written content and share with us here for our listeners.
Absolutely. So, I mean, we have the blog. I have the blog on our website at Faith and Sparkles World. It has a lot of leadership tools. Right now, what I'm actually currently working on is on a comprehensive leadership guide where I break down into section the different types of leaders from a woman's perspective, and I'm utilizing women from history who have actually led nations to prosperity, to success, led a people to longevity and life. And so I'm really excited for that. That's coming out later this year, actually.
Thank you for sharing. And I think that we will connect again, maybe
Yeah.
next year, or when you have whenever you have something new to share it. And I would love to see you again in new episode
Yes.
of KSM Podcast. So, Delisa, can you share with us your website and just mention how people can reach out to you? But I will share all those information on your website and social media pages, professional, and people can reach out to you. So, but just share with us
Yes.
here that we can hear your voice
Absolutely.
about it.
So yeah, you can find me on faithandsparklesworld.com and online, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn at Faith and Sparkles World. There's daily um, essential messages that are going out. It isn't just to say to get this or to get that. What I'm sharing with you are daily leadership skills that you can start applying to your life. So when you follow along, you are actually it's a beneficial to you, as well as my Facebook group, the Be Empowered Faith and Sparkles World group. Join that as well. It is very different from our online, like our regular social media platform, because this one is specifically for us women, and I share different content in there as well to really strengthen you and empower you so you can grow.
Thank you so much. And can you share with us the message just for all people and listeners who wanted to start their business, just shortly, because we're going to ramp up our call today?
Yes. Of course, of course. If you're going to start your business or you already have your business, stay the course. Have the vision in your heart, know your purpose, recognize your why, stay the course, and you will succeed. It is a guarantee because you're doing it in love.
Delisa, thank you so much. It was lovely having you today as my special guest speaker. And you share such amazing and very, very valued story. Well, I hope that will influence our listeners to start their own business journey. And just don't forget, connect with Delisa to empower you as a leader. She will help you a lot. Thank you, Delisa, again, and see you very soon in our new episode of KSM Podcast. Thank you so much and have a really lovely, lovely day.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.